Danish pavilion, I wanted to deal with a subject that is very, very particular to Denmark, that is of local significance, but a subject that is also of universal and global importance. And that subject is freedom of speech. A year and a half ago, I was invited by the Danish Arts Council to submit a proposal. I was one of 5 curators for a curated exhibition. In Denmark, it has been a particularly contested issue precisely because the country has suffered the trauma of freedom of speech. And internationally, I think it's a subject that has acquired increasing importance in light of recent geopolitical developments. It's my opinion that unfortunately, we have long entered times where we are experiencing a kind of regression into counter-enlightenment values, and very hard-earned civil liberties, such as freedom of speech, are increasingly becoming under threat and are increasingly being put under threat. And so that is why I chose the subject of freedom of speech. Another reason I chose this subject was also because it's a subject that I think is of global importance, not only in the political field, but it ties to so many other issues such as freedom of press and freedom of internet, censorship and self-censorship, the WikiLeaks scandal, the question of the privatization and regulation of public space, corporate consolidation, and many, many other issues, down to personal issues such as the right to express one's sexuality, for example, freely. There are 18 international artists in the show, and the reason is that freedom of speech is such a complex issue. It's an issue that cannot be narrowed down to categoric definitions. There is no one way of exercising freedom of speech. So it was very important to do a show that somehow brought together polyphonies and different voices from different geographical territories, different points of view, in order to complicate this issue.
I'm one of the Danish artists in the Danish pavilion. We are 2. There are 2 of us, and I think it's a very generous idea to give the pavilion to another curator who's not Danish and make her own show. But of course, as a Danish artist, I'm glad to participate in it. I think that art is not about nationality, it's about like what you want to say. The freedom of speech theme in the exhibition, when I got invited, I thought that it was important for me because I live in Denmark. We have a lot of freedom of speech and freedom of expression. It was important for me to give the voice to people who doesn't have a voice.
I'm Han Overbrugge. I come from Holland, and I participate in this Biennale for the first time, and it's for Denmark, not for Holland. So I feel very proud and honored to be in this exhibition. Yeah, well, when Katerina asked me to do a work special for this exhibition, and she told me about the free speech theme, I thought like, well, that's a very heavy political subject. So I wanted to make it not light, but more like it deals with the seriousness of the subject, but it also tries to make a twist. So it's, on one hand, it's very serious, but it's also very humorous.
So my name is Mikhail Caracas, and I'm Greek. And it's amazing that I'm here, part of the Venice Biennale, and part of the Danish pavilion. The subject matter of the exhibition, this particular exhibition, relates to my practice, or rather the other way around. My practice relates to the subject matter. And in particular, the work that I'm presenting here is dealing with issues around masculinity.
Speak to me. Parlami. Speak to me.